Hello again, everybody. I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to my next AutoCAD tutorial video here. In this tutorial video, I'm going to be covering the commands area and boundary. All right, so I've just quickly typed those out at my crosshair there on the side. So first off, what I'm going to do, again, I have this basic main floor plan here of the house that I've been using for quite a few tutorial videos now. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you the most popular ways and the quick ways to use the area command, and then the other ways that we can use the area command using other commands like boundary to help us out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you to do is calculating area with a polyline. Okay, so right now around my building, I'm highlighting the line that I have continuous around my entire main floor here, around my exterior walls, the insulated exterior walls to be specific. That's why it's not going around my screen porch here. So I already have a polyline, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and calculate area. So again, this is showing you if you have a polyline. I will show you it without a polyline afterwards. So I'm going to type out the command area. There unfortunately is no shortcuts for that command. And I get a crosshair. So it acts like it wants you to draw your box for the calculation of area. Well, with a polyline, I don't actually have to do that. If you take a look at your command line, you'll notice you have extra options: object, add area, subtract area. Well, if I use object, I can actually select a polyline. So I'm going to use the shortcut there, which is the letter O. So O, enter. And now I get a selection box. So now I can select that polyline, and just like that, at my command line box, I can now see that my entire main floor plan is 1,711.8 square feet. All right, so that is again how you can do it with a polyline. It is the command enter, O, enter, and you select your polyline. Now what happens if you don't have a polyline and you want to be able to create a polyline nice and quickly? That's no problem. So I'm going to quickly select mine and explode it to make mine lines to get back into that stage. So the explode command is the letter X, enter. And now you'll see my lines are now just separate properties, right? Just total separate properties. All right. Well, if I want to select all of those, I'm going to select all of mine previously now. Like I just quickly selected a previous selection. So with doing that, I can type in the command SEL, enter, and P for select previous. And it's very handy because just like that, by pressing enter one more time, I have selected my entire previous selection. So keep that in mind as well. I will put in little tips and tricks here and there throughout the videos that end up being handy to use these skills, and that is one of them. Okay, so again, SEL for the select command and P for previous, and it will select, enter my last selection, which is so fantastic. So this may not work for you. You may have to go around your building and select every single line one by one right now because that wasn't your previous selection like it was for mine. So if that's the case, please do so now. Once you have all of the lines you want to be connected together, you then use that join command. And join will join them all together into a polyline. And then you can then calculate your area with object enter, O, enter, and you can select your polyline. Okay, so that is again how you can calculate with a polyline, and then how you can, join your lines together into a polyline and then use that area command. Okay. Next, area, I'm going to show you how area is originally used. So area, so I just showed, for the first step I showed you there is the most efficient way to use area. Now I will show you its original use. So you would type in again the command, and you would draw out the area. So let's say again, I want to now find out what's my area for my screened porch, not my whole main floor plan, just my screened porch. So I'm going to draw a box. Now I'm going to turn ortho on, so that way my area lines also draw straight, and I can snap to my corners. Whoopsie. I made a wrong click. No problem. Control Z. And it backs up your most recent selection. I do not have to press escape and restart the whole command again. Okay, keep in mind, if in the area command you accidentally click on the wrong spot like I did there, you can just go Control Z and it will back up your most recent step. That's for PC window users. For my Mac users out there, it would be Command Z. Okay, so again, I'm going to turn ortho on. Why isn't it not going straight? Hello, area. Can we draw straight? All right, let's try that again. That was odd. Let's try ortho on before I start the command. I've never encountered that before. Interesting. All right, now we're straight. Nice. Okay, good. There's a little glitch with AutoCAD there. Again, always happy when these happen live, so you know that when it happens on your computer, don't worry. Just press escape and start again. That's always my saying. When in doubt, press escape. So I'm going to click on my outside edge corners here. I do not want to calculate the wall because that's in my main floor plan calculation. And then I close the box. I always start my last point where, sorry, I end my last point where I started my first point. Okay, so my last click is where my first click was when I calculate area. Then I press enter, and you'll see it makes a green box, so that way you know what physical part you are calculating. And I press enter, and then once again at my command line at the bottom, it tells me there my square footage, 190 point. I round up to 4.4. Okay, now please keep in mind that you want to look out for those square feet in brackets. It does by default give you the square inches, and that's because of our units in Imperial. But you would typically want your square feet, so just take a look at that in brackets. Okay, so once again, and let's say I want to calculate the square footage of this deck now. Area, enter, and I click my points. I make sure ortho's turned on, and I click my points. And again, I'm not including my exterior walls here, just the deck area. Once I click my last point where I started, I press enter, and I can now find out that this deck is 109.5 square feet. All right, so that is drawing out your area calculations. Next, I will show you the boundary command, how the boundary command can help you calculate area. It's quite nifty. It is very cool. All right, so for example, I want to calculate my primary bedroom floor area. I just want to know what the bedroom floor area is. Okay, so I'm going to zoom into that area. Okay, so again, just want to know this bedroom area, not the walk-in closet, not the ensuite. My clients want to know how much square footage they have to put furniture. Okay, so if I go ahead and type the boundary area out, enter, you get a dialog box. You get a boundary creation dialog box. And what we want to use is this pick points icon. So I'm going to use that icon and click on it. And I get a crosshair. Now, what you do with that crosshair is you just click inside the boundary you want to calculate. So once again, I want to calculate my bedroom, primary bedroom space here. So I'm going to click inside my primary bedroom. That's what Jamie told me to do, so I'm going to do that. So here we go. I press enter. And you don't see much. I should have changed my layer. I'll do that afterwards. So now if I hover over that outside, it has drawn a polyline just surrounding that bedroom area. But right away, you're going to go, Jamie, it drew your polyline around those doors as well. It's weird. I don't want that. That doesn't make sense. I can't put furniture here. I can't put furniture here, and I can't put furniture there, right? So that doesn't make sense. I did this on purpose to make this argument. So I'm going to delete that polyline. All right, so first I'm going to change my current layer so the way the boundaries stand out more for the screen sharing purposes. I'm just going to go on to a nice green layer in my deck area. Okay, so I'm going to do that again, but what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to freeze my doors. I have my doors on a separate layer, windows on a separate layer, everything's pretty much on a separate layer. They may be the same color, but they're on separate layers. So I'm going to freeze my doors. Okay, so click my layers, and I'm just going to click on that light bulb. I actually turn them off. You can freeze them or turn them off. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to turn them off, actually. And so all my doors have been turned off. But now if I go and do the boundary command, do it, for argument's sake, I click the icon, and I click inside that bedroom area again. It can take a second to load here, and I click enter. Then you're going to see, yeah, holy moly, it's way too much of a boundary because I don't have a closed boundary. It's trying to create a polyline around the entire house. It's not what I want. So no, right? So in order to do this specifically, I've got to draw guiding lines. I've got to connect these closures here because furniture cannot go there, and I need to make sure that I'm giving my client the right calculation. Let's say it's for carpet, not even for furniture. Let's say I got to give my trades the area for the carpet that I'm putting in the primary bedroom, or the hardwood flooring that my clients want. I guess a carpet in a bedroom is not really preferred anymore, is it? So hardwood flooring. All right, so area. Oh, no, sorry. Oh my goodness, boundary. Whoopsie, boundary. I've closed off my boundaries now. I click the icon and I click inside my space, enter. And just like that, I have a boundary now completely around my primary bedroom. And now I can go area, O, enter for object. I click on my polyline, and just like that, I can now tell my trades I need, I'll round up 190 square feet of hardwood, right? Because you would always round up, especially for finishes, right? So I would actually, some people would say, let's round up to 200 to have your offcuts, to have your spare cuts, right? So that's probably what I would do as well. I'd round up to 200 square feet and say, okay, primary bedroom, 200 square foot of flooring. Okay, so just like that. And, you know, some people are like, well, that's a lot of work, you know, to draw all those lines, to draw all those polylines and stuff like that. Yes, it can be, but then calculating the area is that much quicker. Some people could get it much, much quicker in just drawing this boundary themselves by just going the area command and drawing the boundary, like I did with the deck, like I did with the screen porch. That's another way to do it too, right? We all know there are many ways to do things in AutoCAD. I want to show you those multiple ways to do these things so you decide what's most optimal for you to do, okay? Now, once I start doing this stuff, what I would do personally if I did this stuff in my file, I would create a whole brand new layer now for area. I would literally create a layer just for area, and I would put it on a light gray. That's what I would personally do, or white. I always keep my model space black, close my layers, and what I would do is I would be doing all of this on that layer. So I'm just going to select all those lines, even the guiding lines, and I'm going to put it on my area layer. Okay, so I've just put it on the area layer, and just like that, they've gone underneath my walls layer because I've put my walls on top. If you would like to do this too, you can always select any line and use the draw order command, and you can send it to the back underneath what you'd like to do. So let's say I want to bring them up to the front. I can bring them now up to the top, and it's like, well, no, you've already done that with your walls. Let me do that again. Draw order, and what I'm going to do is above objects, reference objects. It wants me to select my walls, I believe. There we go. Okay, and now it goes on top of my walls. Okay, so I just wanted to know, what do you want to bring us on top of? Let's clarify. So I picked that, and so now I can see my polyline above my walls, if that's what you wanted to do. If not, you're like, no, 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 I want to send it to the back, then of course, draw order, send it right to the back, which is default. Okay, and then that way, you don't really see them. I can bring my doors back. I don't really see those gray lines. It's not too bad, and I can turn them off, right? I can turn them on when I need them. But what I would suggest is don't delete them, because all of a sudden you may, you know, stretch the walk-in closet. Let's say the clients are like, you know what, I'd like 12 more inches for my bedroom instead of my closet, or vice versa. And you're like, well, I got to recalculate that area again. I don't want to do all that work again. So I'm going to go on my layers. I'm going to turn my area back on, and there's my polyline. Right? And I can calculate my area again, right? So I wouldn't suggest deleting this stuff if you go this route. Just put it on a different layer and turn it off. Then you don't have to see it, but you still save that work. This goes for lots of things, okay? Another way I want to show you how to use the boundary command is how it would kind of work out with the kitchen area. The kitchen is very useful where I draw less guiding lines. I just want to tell my trade now what's my kitchen tile. So all I'm going to do is draw one line. I'm going to change my current layer first to that area layer that I've created now. And I'm going to just quickly save my file quickly here as a separate file. I just want to keep this DWG separately, and this also encourages you folks to save your file as well at this time. Okay, I'm trying to keep all my CAD files in case I need to go for anybody. All right, so I'm going to draw just one line. My tile here. My tile goes from my peninsula island here right to the wall, and that's where my tile closes off. This is my tile, and it literally cuts around my countertop. I do not want a tile under my counters. I want my cabinetry to go right flush, and my toe kick is then my countertop is butting up against my toe kick. That's what I would like for my finishes. So again, I'm going to go boundary, enter, and I use the icon. And I pick inside my kitchen space, right? I don't want my counters. I want to pick inside the flooring. Enter. And just like that, I have a boundary around my floor. You're going to be like, no, you don't. You have it around your islands as well. Yes, I do. And it's because of this little area right there. Whoopsie. So let me fix that. Let's back up. I will delete this because it did not work out for me. I need to fix that little area right there. A lot of the times my trades, I won't get into tile underneath my fridge either because again, I want the fridge to go straight down. So what I would do is I would go like that, and I would finish the towel off in a 90-degree angle right there. And you get a gable. You get a nice piece of gable cabinetry, and you don't see in here, but you leave this as breathing room. So there's just like a little piece of wood, let's say right here. Okay, that little piece, that's a piece of wood. This breathes. All of that breathes in your appliance, right? All of that breathes in your appliance, but I want tile to go into there. So I just close that off, say to the tile. Now let's do the boundary. Points inside, enter, and beauty. Just like that, now I have a polyline around the tile area. I don't want to have to draw around all these corner pieces. No, just use the boundary command. It's way easier. And then you may use the argument. You're like, well, Jamie, you're going to use a tile straight across there. You're not going to go around. You see how my polyline goes around the stove? Yeah, we round up. That would come out of the rounding, right? So we round up our tile, right? So let me do the area calculation now. Area, enter. O, enter. I will select my polyline. I have selection cycling on, so that's why it's confirming every time if things are on top of each other. I'll show you how to turn that on in a minute. Go into my polyline, and just like that, it tells me 66.6 square feet. Well, I would round that up to 75. I would tell my clients, or sorry, my trades, I need 75 square foot of tile. Because again, cuts, off cuts, spare cuts, mistakes. And then that way that counts for going straight here with my tile. All right, and that's how I round it up. Some people would again make the argument, go, you know what, just go up to 80 square feet of tile, or go up to 90 square feet of tile if you have the budget. Have that spare piece if, again, your clients have that excess budget, right? So arguments to make. All right, so that is my quick little tutorial video on calculating with the area command and then using the boundary command to help you calculate area. And again, feel free to turn on and off your layers to help you out. Separate your layers to help you out, okay? And also what might help you out is the selection cycling that I've been telling you about. So every time I hover over an object that I have two things over top of one another, so here I have my counter as well as this polyline, right? You'll see that little double square pop up at my crosshair, just top right there in my crosshair. That is selection cycling. That is this button right here. So you're gonna see that same symbol now, but reversed with two pieces of paper on top of each other, with a plus sign, top left corner. That button right there is selection cycling, and let's say all of a sudden you can't even find it down here. Well, that's because maybe you don't even have it shown. So then you're going to want to click on these three lines. These are just what is shown at the bottom, all right? This is not a matter of turning on and off. Okay, I want to be very clear here. These are not a matter of turning these things on and off. These check marks are just a matter of what is shown at the bottom here. Okay, just what buttons is shown, that's it, all right? So for instance, selection cycling, I'm gonna uncheck mine and see the button disappeared there. Button is back, button disappeared, button is back, button disappeared. It's not turning it on and off, it's literally just showing it at the bottom and not showing it at the bottom, okay? So again, be sure you have a check mark here besides selection cycling, then toggle it on and off, okay? Blue means on, gray means off, okay? And that will then allow you, when you have a double object over top of one another, and you click on it, you'll get this little dialog box, and AutoCAD's going to confirm with you, do you want your block, which is my door, or do you want the line that's behind that? Which one do you want to select? And that's exactly what it's going to confirm for you, okay? So selection cycling is also fantastic. Use that to your advantage. And again, it's very handy to have down here, so that way if you're like, this is so annoying, I don't want this right now, you can turn it off, and it doesn't happen. It will just select the object that is on top. Okay, so once again, that could cause some challenges. You may again want to select your counters under here. So you do want selection cycling on, so you can in fact select the counters underneath of that instead. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right, everybody, I hope you found something in this video helpful. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you all take care. Ciao.